Hello everybody and welcome to Zero Hard Work. In this video I'm gonna ask you guys a question. What's happening in Sweden? This night it's in the middle of the week and we have 4 explosions in 4 different cities here in Sweden. There is a kind of war here between gangs and my peaceful country has become a war zone in major cities like Malmö and Gothenburg and Stockholm. So, is this because immigrants are coming to Sweden seeking refuge from war and persecutions and criminals are coming with them and now they are fighting over the drug. It's like the drug wars in America between different drug lords. It's becoming the same here as it was or are in America and other countries. They are fighting for small cities in the north of Sweden, and we are not used to this kind of violence here in Sweden. So the police and the government are baffled and just standing looking in. They don't know what to do. So they say, we need more police officers on the streets patrolling and things like that. But sometime in the meantime they're paying the police a very low salary. So nobody wants to be a police officer. And I used to go around when I was in Gothenburg and I saw a police officer. I went to him and said, thank you so much for you want to be a police officer, because that's not the job for me. I don't want to be police. I don't want to use in healthcare or something like that. Even when the drivers of an ambulance come, I thank them for they want to do this work because I don't want to do it. So we should be grateful for those men and women who wants to work with this kind of work, because I don't want to do it. So if you have a police officer or some who works as a nurse or something, go and thank them, because they do more than they get paid for. So they deserve our thanks for us who doesn't want to work with that kind of line of work. So it makes me sad when we see people disrespecting the police officers and anybody who works in the same line of work, because the only ones that hate police officers and is those who are often criminals or had some bad experience with maybe a bad police officer, because there are rotten eggs in every line of work, even in the police. So I wonder if the government here in Sweden realize that we need more police and they need more salary. The pay is too small for anybody who wants to work with that kind of it's too bad, because Sweden has always been a country that I take pride in, that we don't have that kind of criminals here, criminal behavior I should say. And I'm not the best person, that I'm not the worst person. I wouldn't kill anybody. I wouldn't blow someone up or blow someone's house up or something like that. But the struggle is for drugs I might take. And I understand it's money, but it's bad money. Destroying lives all over the world. And what should you do? What should you do? It's every night, every day, something is happening here in Sweden. All the time. I mean, I don't go to Gothenburg or Stockholm or Malmö, and I have about 5 miles, as a Swedish miles, 500 kilometers. No, that's 50 miles. Okay. Anyways, I live close to Gothenburg, so I can go there. It takes me about 40 minutes to drive there. So, and I call it a no-go zone because I don't want to go there. There are places in Gothenburg that I don't dare to go because you never know. Somebody's gonna attack you and I think that's sad because I like Gothenburg and I want to go there. When I was a small child, or smaller, younger, we went to Gothenburg all the time. All the time. And you can roam the city without being afraid. But now, I mean, that time when I was 18, 19, the biggest threat was you get a smack on the face. And then, 10 years ago, then comes the knife. And now they put out an AK-47 in your face or something like that. So it's getting worse. And I don't want my kids to go to Gothenburg. I don't want my kids to go to Stockholm or Malmö. Or we can call this place that I live a safe haven. You know what I mean? The nature. It's really breaking my heart, this, and I think it started with when 10 years ago when we opened the borders and just opened our arms to anybody who wanted to come here to live in peace and freedom. But now they have destroyed it. And with they, I mean the criminals. And I don't say Sweden has its own criminals who behave like this also. But now it's all going to shit. So what's happening in Sweden? You can't. We have something like freedom here in a way that you can take your tent and put it up in the forest, and the landowner can't say anything because you have the right to stay one night. You don't have the right to camp there for several weeks, just one night. It's called Allemansrätten. And the Germans coming here using this, and it's fine. It's fine. It's their right. But nowadays, I would never go out in the woods and camp, because I wouldn't do that anyway, but it seems like Sweden has become more dangerous than it was 20 years ago. This might be only me because I'm getting older, but I'm seeing all the news always. Something has blown up, or somebody has been shot or killed, or robbed or beaten. I mean, our kids nowadays who are wearing designer jackets and something like that get robbed in the streets because they have a jacket that costs several thousand kroner. And even the police are now saying, don't let your kids out in designer clothes or expensive shoes or something like that, because they're gonna get robbed. I mean, an iPhone now here costs about 20,000 kronas. We say it's about $2,000 in American dollars, approximately. And kids are having these phones. I mean, even I don't have a phone that expensive, but kids have them. Some kids have them, and they get robbed because they can sell that phone for a lot of money. So it saddened me that it had come to this. Maybe we are living in a sort of illusion here in Sweden before, because the rest of the world, but you might think, oh, he's crazy. That's where I live, it's the same thing. And has been for the last 50 years. He just realized that now in Sweden. But we have never experienced this here in Sweden. So that's why I'm so sad. I mean, I can feel lucky because I live in a small, you can call it town or village or town, outside the major cities. And that kind of thing doesn't happen here, but it's coming. I think it's coming because people here can be so naive. Oh, we never lock our door. And suddenly there's someone they don't know standing in their hallway or the kitchen, and they are surprised. I mean, I lock. The door should be locked at all time. I told my kids, when you are on the top floor of a house and no one's on the down floor, the first floor, lock the doors, because you never know. Now we have a big German Shepherd. She weighs about 40 kilos, so if someone comes through the doors that she doesn't recognize, she will bark the hell. So you would know if someone come in the house, but then it's too late. But I think when someone unknown comes in our door and meet our dog and she's barking, they will turn around and go. So that's a good thing about having a dog. But it doesn't make the situation in the rest of Sweden better. And I'm, as I said, I'm afraid for my children growing up in this world. Now, my children are not so young. The oldest one is 22 and the youngest is 10, and I have 7 of them. So I have 7 times the worry for their future growing up in this land, that the violence is increasing in a rapid rate. And I won't be around to help them. I mean, a couple of years ago, my daughter came to me and said, Dad, he was mean to me and destroyed my bike. So I was boiling with anger. So I took my car keys and jumped in the car and drove home to him to see him. And his parents opened the door, and I know these parents. And I'm afraid for myself, if he had opened the door, I would probably clocked him or something like that. And I think it's gonna get worse before it gets better. And when I'm not here to protect them, and they can't protect themselves because the law and the justice system cannot protect them here in Sweden, because I mean, these people see Swedish girls like it's just I don't even want to mention it. It's just too hard to think about. So I just wanted to vent this to the rest of the world, because I have a Swedish vlog that you guys don't understand what I'm saying probably then. So I'm doing this in English for the rest of the world to see. So if you're now thinking, if you before think that Sweden was a great country, it is a great country, but it's getting worse. I mean, we have lots of things here that maybe not exist in a lot of countries. We have free healthcare, free school. I mean, I pay to go to the doctors. I pay like $2 or something like that. That's what I'm paying. So I made an operation a couple of years ago, and it cost about $12,000, and I pay about $50. So that's my part, but we have high tax, so that's paying for it. So Sweden is still great, but it's not what it used to be. We still have freedom, but you might end up in an explosion if you're in a big city or something like that. And I'm just sad. So I hope you understand, and I hope to see you again. So thanks for listening and putting up with me. Putting up with me. Putting out. No, not putting out. Putting up with me. I love you guys. See you another time. Goodbye.